Hi, it's Yash. I want to talk a little more about how, Tourette's syndrome, cervical dystonia, or any dystonia, anything, but we're talking about Tourette's and cervical dystonia now. It doesn't affect our spiritual nature. It doesn't affect it. Spiritual nature doesn't have a body. I don't know if that's, is that news for some people? Because it just doesn't have one. I talk more about spirituality in my other channel, which I give the link below, because I don't want to get too deep into that here because it's just not the place. I want to talk more practical level. But this is our saving grace, our spiritual nature. Spiritual nature, it was here before this body was born, and it'll be here after the body dies. You see, I can't help it. I mean, the titles, how these Tourette's and tics and dystonia doesn't affect our spiritual nature. How can I not talk about it? I'm speaking spontaneous, so I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm trying to just let it flow. Some of you can pick up that vibration and will appreciate it, and others will turn the video off. So that's good. It's a win-win, because I only want those who resonate. Those who don't, you can find another channel. There's 50 million YouTube channels I read. The more I shaped my lifestyle in a way that was healthy, diet, the company I keep, my living environment, spending time in nature, having some kind of spiritual practice, the more I had, you can say, spiritual continuity in my life, the higher my vibration raises. The frequency goes up. What does that mean? That means there's some elevation in my consciousness. My perception of things lift. I see things different, higher. You see? There's all these levels of consciousness. Some people, they're very mundane and just earthbound. This is it. That's all. There's no awareness of anything spiritual. Others, they believe in miracles, and they believe that there's a higher pervading spirit or consciousness that's guiding everything, and that will help you also individually. So the more my lifestyle was shaped in a way that raised my consciousness and my vibration, the more I started to become aware of what the spiritual nature is. The more I became aware what the spiritual nature is, the more I realized this is the real medicine for tics and dystonia and everything, actually. So then that made me, I wanted to go deeper into that. What does that mean? That means be more aware of it. I want to pay more attention. First, we got to recognize that there's something, who we are beyond the body. Now, the best way I can say to do that, but I don't know how many can follow, you switch everything off just for a second or two. You just switch everything off. There's some kind of presence left here. This is our true spiritual nature. So once that recognition's there, then the next step is to bring our attention there and keep it there more often. Having a healthy continuity lifestyle makes that easier, because then there's less agitations and pain in the body, so our attention's not going to all that. Now, when somebody's having a severe episode of tics, like when I used to have that, I was aware that it's like I was watching my body have all these tics. And I'm like, what's watching all this? Because the watcher doesn't seem affected. I'm watching this human instrument suffer and wish the tics weren't there, and oh, this is terrible. But it was happening inside my spiritual nature, you can say. So then I'm like, I want to just be the spiritual nature. Can I just get rid of this body? Because this is a big nuisance. So that's what I mean. You can't deny the body. You can't just say, oh yeah, I'm just a spiritual nature. You have this body also. This is the whole game, or the whole test. We got to navigate through this body, even with its limitations and all that. And it can be a burden. It's like a child, a baby. The baby's consciousness, but it's in this little baby body, and it can't figure out how to walk or how to it's got to learn how to use this mechanism. So in a sense, that's what we're doing. Those who have any kind of chronic issue, especially tics and dystonia, it's like the body is just doing its own thing. And we're here like, wow, like this sucks. It's like having a car that you're driving a car that just doesn't work well. But that's the only car you have, and you got to keep driving it. And then it gets a flat tire, and then it sputters, and then it stops, and this is the challenge we have. But there's a reason for it. And I hope everybody will recognize the benefit of having such limitation at some point. Okay. But right now I'm talking, I guess, to those who are really having a hard time with this, how do you get better? How do you make your symptoms, how do you get to a place to where you're just kind of comfortable even in the body that's having these symptoms? This is what the channel's for. And I'm going to talk more about those things. But I need questions and comments from you. The channel's for you. It's not for me. I don't care to hear myself talk. So I want to know where you're at. What are your questions? And then I can address those. I want to make tailor-made videos for people. And I also do private consultations, so you can contact me if you feel moved to do that, or you just watch the videos, because I feel like I'm touching on the main aspects on these videos. I'm just sharing with you what my experience is, what's worked for me. So it must mean it can work for some other people. But a good starting point is to go to Chronic Pain Anonymous, because you can have the fellowship and support there on their Zoom meetings online, and that will help give you some rest, maybe just some understanding. And then we can start looking at this stuff more deeply, how to make our life. I've already made videos on how to shape your life in a way that will raise your vibration and reduce stress. This is important. And then that allows us to have a spiritual practice, which can get us more in touch with our spiritual nature, which then the symptoms become less, and also there's more space between the imbalanced body and our true self. That's what it is. Have a good day.